There we go. All right, it's 12:05. Let's get started. Hopefully, I think we've got about 10 more people RSVP, and hopefully some of them will filter in, and maybe they can introduce themselves later or just jump in as we go. Well, thank you guys. It's kind of a small group today because it's been a weird day for me, for sure. I don't know about you guys, but thanks for coming to our March Key Connections event. Next month in April, we have, I should have looked up her name, but we have someone from Adopt a Class, who's one of our clients. They do, they basically help companies sponsor classes around the city. We've done it with a school locally for the past couple of years. It's been a little bit hard with COVID, but hopefully we'll be able to get back in those classrooms soon. And I know that they're still an organization that's doing a lot of good for these schools that are having a lot of challenges right now. So anyway, real quick, let's see, we've got 8 of us right now. Like I said, hopefully we'll have more. Let's just go around, introduce yourself. I think there's several office key people, several that are not. Just say us who you are, what company you're with, maybe what office key location you spend most time in. And since we're talking about Super Bowl commercials, how about tell us your favorite football team? Mike, we'll start with you.
I am Mike Peters with River Hills Bank Mortgage Lending. I office out of my home most of the time now, but I'm at Westchester. And I'm ashamed to admit I'm a Bengals fan. And since I've known Drew for a long time, I don't know if you know this, Drew, so I'll just share something a little personal here. My oldest daughter is finishing her residency at UC. She's accepted a full-time job with a practice here in Cincinnati, so we're keeping her here in town. And she's getting married in May, so we got a lot of exciting things going on with her.
Awesome.
So.
Great. All right. Thanks, Mike. Dad, you're up next. Why don't you introduce yourself? I think most people know you, but.
I'm Dave Myers. I'm the founder of Office Key. I get to help out on special projects now and then. I'm spending the winter here in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, until April. Good place to quarantine. My favorite football team is the Bengals. We have some season tickets and have enjoyed going to games.
Usually.
Usually, yes.
At least until the end.
That's right.
All right, Jackie, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Jackie Harris. I am with Office Key, and my main location is Hyde Park. Our favorite football team in my house is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, go Gruden.
My husband was born and raised here in Cincinnati and does not like the Bengals. Has always liked the Raiders. He said that they are tough and mean, and he likes that. So.
I saved him a lot of pain and anguish over the years.
Yeah.
Although the Raiders haven't been much better lately, but
no,
it's certainly better right now.
No, but when they win and the Bengals lose, it's a good day in my house.
That's fair. Chris, if you can hear us, do you want to chime in and introduce yourself real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
I think you were all talking about football. Am I supposed to talk about football?
Just you tell us who you are, what your business is, which location you're out of, and if you have a favorite football team, we'd love to hear it. And if you don't, that's okay.
Okay. Let me start with that. I don't. I like football, but I just did my son's football, and that was sort of my favorite football team. So there you go. So my name's Chris Sheehan. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm so happy to be part of Office Key. I think it's an amazing setup with the offices the way they are, and I'm really just glad to be part of it. I'm brand new. My office is in Hyde Park, and I specialize in helping teens and adults who are struggling with anxiety and depression, grief, trauma, and addiction. And I am especially passionate about helping men and women who are contemplating divorce, currently in the process of divorce, and post-divorce, just any sort of struggles with that, all the anxiety and everything that goes with it. And the name of my practice, I don't know if I said it, is Inner Strength Therapy, because I believe we all have inner strength that we can lean on to help us accept and overcome our mental health challenges. That's my spiel.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chris. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Terry, like to introduce yourself? You're muted still. There you go.
Hi. So my company is called Reveal Marketing, and I mostly help my clients with their online marketing, digital marketing, search engine optimization, social media strategy. And I just follow around Tom Brady. That's my thing. So I figure he's always going to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm just going to keep following Tom.
Mhm. It's a safe bet.
And I'm usually in Westchester. What'd you say?
I said that's a safe bet to follow Tom Brady, for sure.
And I'm usually in Westchester.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Angela,
Yeah.
introduce yourself real quick. I think we all know you, but just for the sake of.
Okay, I'm Angela Finley, and I'm with Office Key, and I'm at the Westchester location, and I really don't have a football team. I would say maybe Bengals, orange. I like orange. So
Picking the team based on the colors.
not
That's a
all. That's
classic.
about my extent. I
classic
like to go
Denver.
watch football rather than see it on TV. So.
That's good. All right, Bonnie, if you can chime in real quick, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bonnie. I'm normally at our Blue Ash location, and I don't have a favorite team. I have some favorite quarterbacks. All-time favorite, Peyton Manning, and newer favorites are Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes.
Good choices.
All right.
All right, thanks, Bonnie.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll you guys all know me. I'm Justin, but my favorite football team is the Bengals, and also the Indiana Hoosiers, who for the first time this year actually were fairly relevant, which was kind of amazing. I'm hoping that they can continue that. It wasn't just a fluke with the COVID situation, but it's years of pain in my football fandom for both sides with the Bengals and IU. As Drew's got his Ohio State shirt proudly wearing there, it's painful to see because my two favorite teams really, or my second favorite team is always in basketball. Whoever's playing Kentucky is my second favorite team after IU, and my second favorite team in football is whoever's playing Ohio State. So it gives you a sense of where I lie on. It's a little big brother syndrome. I think it's more jealousy than anything. So, but I digress. Well, thanks for introducing yourselves. I know it's a small group and a lot of us do know each other, but it's still nice to just kind of break the ice a little bit. And we are recording this, and I'd like to be able to disseminate this more and further and make this more of a thing where we can bring more people in and you guys can promote yourselves and connect and all that stuff. It's Key Connections for a reason. So anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Drew. Some of you guys may know he's the president of marketingaccelerator.com. He provides chief marketing officer resources to business leaders and the marketing leaders through strategic advising and marketing focused roundtables. For today's topic, it's interesting to note that he is a voting panelist on USA Today's Ad Meter rating of Super Bowl commercials. He's a Xavier University graduate. And we're looking forward to seeing what you have to say. I think I'm curious if you have a second to say how you got involved with the rating, the Ad Meter rating for the USA Today. I'd be interested to, if it's a quick tidbit. If it's longer, we can discuss that another time. But I've been curious about that. I don't think we've ever talked about it. So with that, Drew, the floor is yours. I will make you the host now, and you can share your screen as needed.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Justin. And, I'm pretty undecided when it comes to what football team I'm a fan of. I just can't seem to make up my mind. And to Mike's point about his daughter, congratulations on the engagement. My daughter is also engaged, and her Browns loving fiance gave me this. So that was fun. I gave him a pair of Bengals socks. But, that's just the way we play that game. So
real quick, one thing, Drew,
yeah.
I made you the host, so you should be good to go. Hopefully I can still admit people if and when they come in, but just keep an eye on that in case that pops up on your screen.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
All right.
So just on the quick heads up, well, how I became a voting panelist on USA Today's ad meter rating of Super Bowl commercials. This is probably my 10th year of doing that. It's a very highly coveted position. It's you have to be selected. You have to go through all. Actually, no, you don't. You just have to sign up.
Oh,
That's it. It's free. But
nice.
so here's your marketing point. Sounds great, doesn't it?
It does.
Mike Peters, you could be it. Angela, you could be a voting panelist on USA Today's ad meter rating of Super Bowl commercials. It's what it is, and then it's what you tell
It's all in
people.
the delivery.
And that's the official title, voting panelist on USA Today. So that's how it's marketing, man. It's marketing. So, but it's a great way to introduce, and I'm very much been involved in Super Bowl commercials. So, so let me launch my share screen here, share sound. Yeah, by the way, it did pop up that the question about sharing sound. Okay, so welcome to Lessons from the Big Game. I am very excited to share this information with you because I think there's a ton to learn from Super Bowl commercials. But most importantly, what I have found over the years is that business owners and entrepreneurs and founders, people like Dave Myers, they have two unique gifts. And the reason that these gifts are unique is that they're polar opposites, these gifts. The first gift is the gift of vision. Entrepreneurs, business leaders, they see things that other people don't see in the marketplace. They see new revenue streams. They see new ways of doing things. They see new team members, new ways things can fit together, which is awesome. And I've been in business for 20 years, and I just see this happen over and over and over again. Now, the other gift is the polar opposite of vision, and that is the gift of blindness. Yes, it is a gift, because if you knew all of the obstacles and hurdles that are in the way of making that vision become a reality, you'd probably never get started down that road. Right, Dave? If you knew all the problems you're going to have getting this thing launched, and 20, 30 years later, all those hoops, if you knew all those hoops in advance, man, you kind of go, I don't know if I'd go that route. So it is actually a gift. And the gift of blindness, the blind spots that I have found with many business owners, entrepreneurs, and business leaders, and even marketers, is I've discovered what kind of business is the hardest business to market. And this has proven itself over and over and over again. There's one type of business, and that's your own, or the one that you're marketing. It's just difficult to market because we can be so myopic, and you have to have that big picture. So today, one of the things that I do in my business is I just have this philosophy of simplifying. You have to simplify to accelerate. And what I mean by that is that so often the answers that you're seeking are really, they're not buried in the data. They're not found in some shiny new object tactic. The answers that you seek are likely hidden in plain sight, but you often are asking the wrong questions. So, as Justin said, I am a voting panelist in USA Today Ad Meters Ratings. I write a blog called the Super Commercial Bowl blog, and I've expanded that this past year. And I also wrote this book, You Can't Lead What You Don't Understand. And in it, I use a concept called the marketing flywheel to simplify marketing and help business owners accelerate that. And we're going to talk about that. The flywheel looks like this, and the Super Bowl commercials are going to plug into each one of these. So the flywheel starts at the top with brand, then goes to tribe, deliverable, strategy, message, connections, and all that spins around a goal. So let's talk about first connections, because that is, what is a connection in the marketplace? And that's any engagement with a customer, a prospect. It could be any kind of thing. The way Angela answers the phone, the way Jackie smiles when you walk in to Hyde Park, those are all connections with the customer. And so is the Super Bowl. That's a way to connect. These are all any kind of engagement. So imagine that, somebody walking in the office and Super Bowl commercials. They're all fit in the same category. So we're talking about Super Bowl commercials. Why? Why are we talking about Super Bowl commercials? First off, they have a huge viewership track record. They just have, they will, the event attracts people for quite a lot of reasons. It's the right time span. It's a once a year event, and it's usually pretty exciting. What's attractive to advertisers is that there's a nice mix of men and women who watch. And typically this on the commercial side of things draws 50 companies nationally who are paying $5.5 million for 30 seconds. Just do the math on that one for a second. $5.5 million to air a commercial for 30 seconds. So now you may have heard that this year Budweiser, there's a lot of folks stepped out of the Super Bowl, said no thanks. Budweiser, 30-year advertiser, first one they missed in 30 years. Coke and Pepsi, they've been 20-year advertisers, stepped out. And there's been quite a few ones that have been consistent of late that, they just said, nope, not going to do it this time. So what does that mean? There's opportunity. There's opportunity for that next tier down of businesses that said, hey, I want to take advantage of this. And if you look at this, things like DoorDash and Vroom and Scott's Miracle-Gro, these businesses have all benefited from the pandemic. So they're a bit more flush with cash, where $5.5 million for 30 seconds is actually something that can be considered. So yeah, and this is what faces us as business owners and marketers and entrepreneurs all the time. When people step out, we have to evaluate, is this an opportunity to step into, or are they stepping out for good reason and it's just not worth it? And so those are the things that you always have to kind of consider. So what happened? Well, the LA Times said Super Bowl draws 96.4 million TV. This, it's the lowest since 2007. I guess the thing was a big bust for these guys, right? Well, actually, it was the 15th most watched program in the United States history and the #1 most streamed event ever. Sure, it might have been the lowest ranking Super Bowl since 2007, but what does that actually mean? You have to look at those numbers. When you look at the top 30 most watched programs in television history, they're all Super Bowls except for number 9, which is the MASH TV series finale. So it's always good to have perspective. And so my nugget when it comes to connections, on dealing with connections on your flywheel, is remember, the media lives on hyperbole. You rarely get the big picture in media in general, and media sales often reflects that. It's often very one-sided. The other thing is, don't let the Super Bowl, like, oh, I've got to, not that any of us are going to spend 5.5 million for 30 seconds, but don't ever one-shot your tactics. Tactics rarely are successful when it's just a one-time thing. And I can tell you, none of those 50 companies who are investing in Super Bowl commercials are they doing just the Super Bowl commercial. Usually the Super Bowl commercial is a launch of a new campaign that will go on for 3, 6 months, maybe the whole year. It's never just a one-time thing. And it's always critically important, before you choose any connection tactic in the marketplace, to define success before you purchase it. While you're trying to evaluate is this a good investment? How will you define success? Do that beforehand. So often people buy it and then they have to work on justifying it because they got all excited about buying it. It's like, figure out what success is beforehand. Okay, I think, let's see, what was that? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm in charge of chat as well. How about that?
Oh, I see that as well.
Okay.
That was,
you
that was
see it?
tab one.
Okay, cool. So, back to, here we go. Back to the flywheel. So the next stop, we're going to go to the top of the flywheel and talk about brand. So what is brand? Well, brand is, it's who you are. It's who you are and how, what you operate by. All that plays into your brand. But most importantly, it's what comes to the customer's mind when they think of Office Key. What do they think? What do your customers think of? That's what your true brand is. You might want it to be a certain thing, but it's really what people think you are. Now, the good news is you get to have a whole lot of input in that. And that's why you have to know what brand you want to be, and then you have to act like it so that that's what comes to the customer's mind. So that's how I describe what brand is. So let's look at a sample from WeatherTech.
At WeatherTech, we don't need to bring jobs back to America.
Stop overseas production.
Or return our engineering and design back to the States.
No way.
No way.
To us, coming back doesn't make any sense.
You want to know why?
Because we
never left.
We never left.
At WeatherTech, we're not bringing manufacturing back to the USA because the truth is, we never left. WeatherTech, made in America for decades.
So, how do you interpret "we never left"? Go ahead, somebody. Dave, down in Florida, Dave. What does that mean to you when they say "we never left"?
Well, it's another way to say "made in America," but it puts a spin on it that you don't expect. You think something like that would be made where labor is cheap in China or something, and all of a sudden they say, "Well, we never left. We've always been here." And WeatherTech's pretty interesting. I never really was familiar with them until I saw Super Bowl commercials, and I still. Maybe I'm not crossing that market, but it's not like Ford or GM that I'm very familiar with.
Yes, and WeatherTech has been a heavy advertiser in the Super Bowl very consistently over the years, and they rarely feature their product. They do feature American made. Someone in chat mentioned what "we never left" means loyal. So there's a lot of ways that you can say things that are relevant to your brand and not even have to, it's implicitly stated. But they know who they are. They know what's most important to them. So the nugget that we have here is, can you describe your brand in a few words or a phrase? One of the ways I do it is I tell people, I had a customer tell me this. He said, "Drew, you make the obscure obvious." And when the situations are complicated and complex like marketing can get, if you can simplify it, that's all part of my strength, is making the obscure obvious. So, does anybody have any examples of how with I know most of our folks here are Office.
Yeah, Office.
But how do you do that? Or maybe you've heard a good one that really it describes the brand in just a few words or a phrase.
I'd say for us, we've talked about this a lot, Drew, but the professionalism, productivity, those are words that we want to be associated with. Service oriented. Those are a few things that we hang our hat on with regards to our brand.
Mm-hmm. So then what you want to do is put together a phrase that implicitly implies that implies that, like, we never left, which means loyal and made in America, that kind of thing. So that's always a good thing, and that's a little bit of the art of marketing.
Right.
So here's a tip, though. If you struggle with describing who you are and what your brand is, and it's not all that distinct, then it is helpful to start with what you are not. Make a list of all the things you aren't. Because if you're not sure what you are, and it sounds very generic, then make a list of what you aren't. And that's a good place to start.
Mine is make more customers your customers.
Make more customers your customers. So it's got the rhyme thing going in it too, which makes it more memorable. That's good. Super. Thanks for sharing, Terry. So moving on to tribe. Tribe. What is tribe? Well, every business owner I've ever met wants to be the leader in their category, which means you're going to have followers. That's going to be your customers. That's going to be your prospects. That's going to be your employees. Your tribe are the people who love what you do. Do all of your customers love what you do? I'm not. You don't have to answer that. So not all customers are tribe members. But guess what? There are prospects, there are future tribe members out there in the prospect category that you just haven't met yet. And they will love what you do and what you deliver. And so, marketing's job is to help profile the customers that love what you do, not just any customer, but the ones that love what you do, your tribe, and then find those prospects. But here's part of the question is, are your employees tribe members? Do they love what you do? And I can tell you that as I don't know how long I've been around Office Key, I would say the answer would be yes to that. At least from the client's perspective, I get the feeling that that is true, not only by their longevity, but the attitude that I'm always greeted with, no matter what office I'm at, Blue Ash, Western, Hyde Park, or Westchester, which are the ones I predominantly go to. So that's your tribe. Now, here's the thing. How well do you understand your tribe? How well do you understand especially their pain?
So, are you gonna buy the car?
Please, if I could just go home and discuss things with my wife. I've been here all weekend.
You can leave anytime you want.
Never go to a dealership again.
Well, that was painless.
Go to vroom.com, buy a car, and we'll deliver it contact-free.
Woo, that was painful, wasn't it? So what was going on there? First off, Vroom understands the pain of going into the dealership. And I've got clients who are car dealers, and they try to avoid that scenario today, very much so. But that's kind of that's the narrative that's out there. So why not leverage it? And so what does pain lead to? Pain leads to avoidance. I don't want to go to the dealer to buy the car. I want to avoid that. And then people are, if you understand people's pain and people are trying to avoid that, they're going to look for an alternative. And so that's what they've done here with Vroom, is positioned it as an alternative to the marketplace. And so sorry. Terry just got kissed.
It's probably the first kiss we've ever had on a Key Connections event.
There you go. And it's recorded, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's appropriate that it's in the tribe section of people who love what you do.
Right.
He loves to do that. He does it every time I'm on a Zoom call. He likes the attention.
There you go. Maybe that's his brand.
Yeah.
So understand your customers, your prospects' pain, knowing that people avoid pain, offer them an alternative. That's what we're seeing demonstrated here, and that's a tried and true tactic. So pain is a primary motivator. You know, people do things immediately for pain. People will postpone pleasure a little bit. You know, pain in the now is the number one thing. Pleasure in the now is the number two thing. Pain in the future is like number three, and pleasure in the future is number four. So you know, if you, and we all don't necessarily, we don't want to be negative Nellies all the time, just talk about the pain. But you have to know what it is that really is the underlying pain that people might be feeling. And, you know, with Office Key, for some folks, you know, for those folks who are trying to get out of Panera and, you know, those kind of places, it's embarrassment. You know, that's the pain. Now, I want to look professional, but the pain is embarrassment, or at least one way to couch that. All right, so moving on with Tribe. The next step on the flywheel is the deliverable. I love the deliverable. If you've ever heard me speak before, you will remember this. You know, the deliverable is simply your product or service plus whatever your customer truly values. And the way I describe this is say you're at Home Depot and you're in the tool aisle and you see somebody pick up a drill. Do they want a drill? Do they really, really want a drill? Or do they want a hole? If you don't want a hole, you're not looking at drills. So our products, let's take Office Key, for example, you know, providing this office space, providing these business services, that's our drill. The hole that Office Key provides is some of what Justin was saying before. It's professionalism. It's a non-embarrassing environment. It's a place I like to go to. You know, there's a lot of different reasons for that hole, but understanding the balance between the drill and the hole is really important. So we so much love to talk about our drills, and sometimes we don't talk about our holes. So I've got an example, a Super Bowl example of a drill, and that's the Klarna spot. Watch how they talk about the product.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. That's right. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
That's a mighty fine pair of boots. Let's get them boots. I'll make payment 1, 2, 3.
I'll make payment 4.
Really?
Turn up!
So pay in 4 small payments. That's what that whole commercial was about. It was all divided up into quarters. It was about the drill. You know, this is how you can do it. 4 small payments. Now, let's look at Logitech. This is about the whole. They don't even say anything about the product. You'll see the product, but it's all about the whole.
We stand here in defiance. That's right. We the makers. We the groundbreakers. We the creators. The screamers. And dreamers. We defy expectations, perceptions, and misconceptions. We defy what logic says we should look like, sound like, be like. We defy genres, algorithms, and entire industries. See, we defy that little voice that says, oh no, we can't, with a roar back that says, oh yes, we will. Because to create the future, we must defy the logic of the past. We must defy logic.
So that, that spot, they show you the product, but they never say anything about it. It's all about the whole. It's all about the creators. It's about who we are, what we're about, which is great. These are 2 really good examples of the whole and the drill. In marketing, typically can be one or the other, but you really want to blend them so that they're not too one-sided. So know the difference between the drill and the hole and know when to use which one. That's the nice way of me saying, quit talking so much about your drill and ask the customer questions about their hole. That's what you want to, that's what people buy, is when you fill the hole appropriately. And so that's real important. So knowing that balance on the deliverable. I love those two spots because they just demonstrate the drill and the holes so well. I do have a moment for a quick comment. If anybody wants to share anything there.
I think let's keep moving. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll keep moving.
I was gonna say one thing real quick too. Mike got kicked out. I think he's having some troubles. I think Zoom is maybe having some trouble. So that might be why some of our people didn't show up, but at least we're recording it, so we'll have it for people. But anyway, Go ahead. Dad, you had a comment.
I just thought the Logitech commercial was an interesting phrase. We defy logic. It's a way to say they're creative. And it is a very creative company.
And it's in the name.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's move on through the flywheel to strategy. I love this segment. I love strategy. So what is strategy? Strategy is how we create advantageous conditions for our product, our service, or our brand. It's creating those advantageous conditions. It's not a one-thing tactic. It's how things work together. It's how we respond. And so maybe you recall this moment from the Super Bowl. It's the end of the national anthem. So I remember seeing that and I'm thinking, dang, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Can anybody, so do you know what this is? This is, can anybody identify those three planes?
A stealth bomber, a fighter jet, which I don't know what it would be, and I don't know what the other one is.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so basically you said stealth bomber, fighter jet. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice try. Come on, somebody knows this. My wife got two of the three here.
Is one a Thunderbird or a Blue Angel?
Nope.
Bonnie chatted a guess. B-52.
B-52. Yes, indeed. Here we go. So you got the B-52 Strato Fortress, the B-2 Stealth Bomber, and the B-1 Lancer. So why is this important? Well, this is the United States Air Force strategic bombers. They have three different strategic bombers that work in concert with each other, depending on the goal that needs to be accomplished. And so how are these different? Well, the B-52 is subsonic, meaning it's fast. Believe me, it's fast, but it's not super fast. It can go long range, has a huge payload, it's very adaptable, drop conventional nuclear weapons. The B-2 Stealth is subsonic as well, but it's fully stealth. You don't see it coming, conventional and nuclear, whereas the B-1 Lancer, that sucker is supersonic. You'll hear it after it's passed by, long after it's passed by, and it drops conventional weapons. And first off, this Super Bowl was the first time all three of these did a flyover. It's never been done before. There's only 21 of these stealth bombers, and take one out of commission to go do a flyover is a big deal. And so why am I making a big deal out of this? It's the United States is three strategic bombers. This is how they work together. Your marketing, your flywheel needs to have three strategies. One for lead generation, one for prospect conversion, one for customer engagement. Not one strategy for your marketing, three strategies, critically important. So what I want to use is an example from Scott's Miracle Grow. So let's take a look at this, see if you can figure this one out.
Ah, the backyard. It's had quite a year.
I say, let's keep this backyard thing going. That's why Scotts and Miracle Grow want to give you a chance to win the lawn and garden of your dreams.
Like mine. You know, just not better than mine.
Like mine, where you can work on your short game.
Like mine. Oh, it's a little close. Oh! It only turns left.
Come on, Leslie, crush your core.
I don't crush, Emma.
Dad, it's the red one.
I know.
The other red one.
I know.
Feeling good, like I should.
He still got it.
So text me now and win the lawn and garden of your dreams.
Hey, Travolta's, don't be tickety-tocking on my grass.
Feeling blessed, never stressed.
All right. So the call to action here, you know, what their strategy is. What do they want you to do? They want you to text 833-835-3535. Okay. I did that. And I got this text back. It said, visit the NRR sweeps at keepgrowingtoday.com, you know, text stop, yada, yada, yada. So, okay, fine. I went to keepgrowingtoday.com, clicked the link. And so here's the guy talking about the Scotts Miracle Grow offering a chance to win a lawn and garden of your dreams, $15,000, you know, sign up for it. So that's fine. I signed in with my email, phone number, zip, and then I had to tell them what, you know, which one I was interested in. Okay, fine. And then I get these nice little emails or texts or, you know, whatever's, you know, just saying, hey, it's garden season. And, you know, they're skewed more toward gardening because I'm a gardener. I don't really care about the lawn. I got zoysia grass. Last one to green up in the spring, first one to go brown in the fall. It's great. So I get these promotions. And so this is a lead generation tool where they, let's see, there we go, where they made an offer and collected some basic data, and that generates this list. I'm on their list for, you know, who knows how long. But, you know, all I did was just, you know, I just gave them my email, my mobile phone, zip code, and whether I like lawn or gardening. I also agreed to the conditions of use. That's where the iffy stuff starts to come into play, because part of that agreement was, you know, I provided that information, but in the agreement, it says, here's the information automatically collected. Each time you access or use our online services, we collect certain information by automated methods and technologies. And then they started listing them, the things that they automatically collect based on the information I gave them. Name, aliases. Who's got an alias out there? You know, driver's license number, information by state, you know, bank accounts, commercial information, personal property, biometrics, voice print, iris, retina scans, you know, your gait. They have the, you know, I don't know that my gait is anywhere, but what they've basically, they're looking for this stuff, and many of them sell this information. That's, you know, that's on top of the internet browsing, the geolocation, we know where you are. I don't get this one under sensory, olfactory, smell, sense of smell. I don't know what they're doing with that. But ultimately, here under inferences, it says profile reflecting a person's preferences. Oops, I can't read that. There we go. Characteristics, psychological trends, predispositions, behavior, attitudes, intelligence, abilities, and aptitudes. So they use all of this information to create advantageous conditions. And that's what a strategy is. So how do you create advantageous conditions for you, your product, service, or brand? Now, on the front end, you don't have to do all that Darth Vader stuff, but you do need to find people and attract them and make them an offer. And I know with Office Key, you pretty much have to give people tours. Yeah. People don't sign. I mean, that's one of the cogs in the machine, but you got to get more people to take the tours for them to decide those kinds of things. So understand strategy is about creating advantageous conditions. What is the best condition and how do you create those? That's strategy. And there's a lot to it. There's an art to strategy. All right, moving on as we are into the final stage here of message. What is the message? It's simply storytelling. It's how you leverage the tribe's emotions, the point of difference, the reason to buy, the call to action, like in the last one with there was the, text this number. There's a clear call to action. So here's Huggy's message. Let's watch that.
Welcome, baby. We're so glad you're here. Meeting Earth. World, meet babies. Born today, like literally hours ago. And good news, kid, being a baby is pretty great. You can eat when you want, sleep when you want, and go when you want. That's where we come in. We're Huggies. Hi. And with your parents, we'll help you get the hang of things in this crazy world. Huggies, we got you, baby. Football? It'll make sense later.
I got to tell you, I thought that was a lousy message. What's the point of difference? Huggies is number 2 in the marketplace to Pampers. They're getting eaten up by the kind of the craft beer diaper market, where there's all these, smaller brands that are coming out with organic materials and all kinds of stuff. They make no claim in this. And the tagline is, "We got you, baby." I'm like, I don't know what to take from that. So that was, I hate to use them, but that was to me one of those negative examples of, we gave you the microphone for 30 seconds in front of 96 million people, the 15th largest audience ever in United States history. And you basically said, we make diapers for babies. Don't do that. So let's go back to the top of storytelling. Leverage your tribe's emotion, points of difference, state them, give us a reason to buy or a call to action. Unfortunately, they didn't do any of that. So as you go around and look at the goal for all of this, when you get it all working, that's what we call marketing acceleration to your goal of attracting and retaining profitable customers. And for WeatherTech, they're just a review. We never left. That was their brand position. Vroom, they knew their tribe and identified their customer pain. The deliverable, remember, Klarna, drill, Logitech, hit the hole. Scott's Miracle-Gro used the strategy to build their lead list. Huggies avoided making any kind of claim or point of difference statement. And of course, the Super Bowl is the 15th most watched program in the United States history. It delivered what it promised it would. So that's probably a good place to end this. I have one more slide, but that's really a discussion-oriented slide, and it's 5 till. So do you want me to do that one, or should we just wrap this up here, Justin?
Let's do a slide real quick. If we can do it in a couple minutes, we got
real quick.
We got a few time.
So what you want to be able to do now that you've looked at this is describe your flywheel. Is it a well-oiled machine that churns out leads, prospects, and customers? If it is, fantastic. What you want to do to make it spin faster is find the weak link. What's slowing things down? Instead of trying to make it spin faster, what's slowing it down? Is your flywheel a past performer that once delivered but now needs a tune-up? So what you have to do is identify something changed. Was it you? Was it the market? Was it the prospect? The prospects today have changed a lot because of the pandemic. They're not going out as much. So you have to identify that if if your flywheel is a past performer. Is it a mystery machine that's never really performed and you're not sure why it hasn't? Well, you have to work toward understanding it first and make changes second. If you've got a mystery machine, you just start hitting buttons and changing things or trying random things. That usually doesn't work because you won't know why it works. You have to understand, you have to take an honest look at your flywheel. Is it a clunker riddled with holes, inefficiencies, and misalignments? I had an $80 million CEO of an $80 million company tell me he had a clunker mystery machine. If you got a clunker, you just need to blow it up and start over. There's very few things that will carry over well. And many, many small businesses are mostly a guppy. It's been, they've ignored marketing for years and it's kind of stalled in an embryonic state. And so what you need to do is set a business goal where marketing is a priority. So that will drive your investment into moving it out of that embryonic state. So basically, got a number of things here for you. If you want, you can subscribe to my blog, books on my website on how, if you want to read about the flywheel, it's $15 on the website. I have an online course on building your flywheel. If that's of interest to you, I will gladly send you a 50% discount code for $2.99. And but when you buy it, for anybody that's attending today, we'll give you a 60-minute strategy session, a one-on-one strategy session. Heck, I'll even meet you at Office Key. So that's the scoop. Lessons from the big game from Marketing Accelerator. That was great fun, and it was fast.
Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate the time. It was good insights as always. I know that was the first time you've given that, so we were kind of your guinea pigs, and I'm sure other people will enjoy it as you make this circuit. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I do think we had some. I think Zoom had some issues because Aisha was having some trouble getting in. Mike got kicked off, and I think maybe we had a lot more RSVPs that didn't show, and I wonder if maybe they weren't able to join. But we do have it recorded, so we'll try and share that with them. Drew, I'll share it with you as well. Again, we have our next one is in April. I believe it's the 7th. I did look it up. Sonia Foltz, who's the CEO of Adopt a Class, is going to be joining us and telling us about what they're doing, and interesting to hear how they've adapted to the new COVID world of schools and all that, which I'm sure is a very tricky thing. But thanks for coming, everybody. We're finishing a few minutes early. Drew, thanks again, and we'll see you guys all soon.
Thanks so much. It's great fun.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.